Someone can let me know when we're up. I gotta bump my volume anyways. Ooh, no, I gotta do that actually through Dolphin. Cool. Just 1 second. That should be so much better.
Am I coming through?
Oh, yep. How's it going, dude?
Pretty great, man. Thanks for having me tonight. Been some great runs tonight.
Yeah, this has been insane. So, what's up, everyone? If you're new, I'm SighAhNide. I organize events like this, and this is the second one we've actually done. I actually need to lower the volume a little tiny bit. But so I run a lot of garbage, which isn't surprising, considering it's me. But Die Hard Vendetta is my new latest craze of garbage. But I came out of nowhere and started picking up the game and started finding new stuff, and then out of that mist of finding random things, we actually had the person who found pretty much all the skips rejoin the community and come back and give new things and things like that. And he's actually in this call with me right now. So we're gonna do a full run of this with some commentary on the side explaining how all these tricks that I still don't even really understand how work and how they were found. So I hope everyone's hyped for that.
Yeah, it should be great. And so everyone knows I'm on a 2-second delay. So I'll be a little behind what SighAhNide's doing.
It's okay. Alright. We all ready to go?
Yeah.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. So right off the bat, we're gonna immediately start mashing A. And immediately in this stage, we already have a skip to do. So we're supposed to do a ton of dialogue here with Captain Al. And it takes a while to do, but it turns out you don't need to do that at all. So if you could explain how the skip works while I do it.
Yeah, of course. This was actually my requirement for routing this game. I told myself that if I can get through this door without speaking to Al, then I would route the entire game. And I did by using this head jump strategy you're doing now. And then once you get up there, you crouch jump through the door, and you just completely skip that.
I'm okay. Looks like I'm on my own again.
There are other instances of crouch jumping being used to get through other doors, but they're not as useful as that one.
So we actually just did another trick there that I found recently. Instead of ever having to reload, you can actually just pop into the weapon menu and click on the same gun again, and it'll automatically reload and skip the animation.
Fantastic.
Well, over there.
Real quick, we have a $3.
Alright, so what I love about this game, it is trash. But what I love about it is, I like to think of it, the speed run as being a little bit like Mirror's Edge if Faith were on drunk mode the whole time. Because the speed run has you jumping and leaping over things and mantling, things that aren't really intended. So it's a really fun run, even if the game is kind of trash.
Baby, are you okay?
Yeah.
You can read that donut.
Oh, this is a
Alright, we have $3.56 from Nfreak. Funny numbers, haha, getting us to a total of $2,000. Oh, $2,004.20.
Nice.
This is just the start. What?
Okay, so now we're gonna go into Hollywood Boulevard, which Hollywood Boulevard is an interesting stage. You can so easily die right up. It's not even dying, it's immediately hitting a fail trigger where you have to start completely over. So I'm hoping I can get the lineup
The game
good.
has a lot of unfair fail triggers in it, and just sort of like in the theater we're going to see soon, we could easily skip to the ending, but we can't because we have to hit a trigger.
Okay. Ooh, I'm actually going to use a new skip that I found on top of the skip that Hindu found for this section here. So we're going to go up to here, shoot him once, activate hero time, and then we're going to jump off of him and launch ourselves all the way up to this roof without having to spend more time. So that skips out a huge platforming section, and then having to kill all 3 enemies there.
What you think, man?
While SighAhNide is doing this required stealth section, I want to say that one of the things he's majorly added to the routing I came up with was his use of hero time at strategic moments. Fantastic use here. So anyway, and that's one of them. You'll see a couple of others that he's used it for.
Yeah, window shopping with guns.
So it's important here that you have to make sure that you put on the gang disguise, otherwise you're not going to be able to progress later.
Unless you want to spend the rest of your life eating through a tube in your nose, I suggest you stop jerking me around.
Whoa, hold on, homeboy. We don't know who they are, but they stepped up, so they gonna pay us.
Okay, so
I
now we
recently
can...
got out of bounds on this stage
Hey, what's up?
and found a lot of great stuff out there, but unfortunately, McClane can't pick it up when he's out of
Red
bounds.
Vinyl Fantasy.
That was a good lineup, too.
Tell Fat Larry I bagged this bad guy.
I read you. We'll send over a van.
I think you're gonna need more than one. I sense something big is going down.
Roger that.
Okay,
you go.
so you can't actually pull out the membership card early, otherwise it just won't accept it. He needs to say that line first.
Sergio.
So that sucks a little bit.
Okay, but I suggest you don't speak unless spoken to. They don't like you guys in
Yo,
here.
you ain't got
Keys to the picture house. Guess it's time to see what room
What the fuck was that?
So coming up in a moment, there's a little tiny skip that's just kind of fun. There's a tractor with some boards you're supposed to knock down and on top of some guys, but it's just a little tiny time save that's fun. I'm just skipping that. I'll just kind of jump right over.
Okay, so now we're on to Chinese cinema, which has one of my favorite skips in the run. It's the most absurd thing to see.
Oh, this will be the seat jumping?
Yeah.
Galaxy Thief 3? They show film. What's he doing?
Okay.
Yeah, I found it when I was playing on a real GameCube hardware, which I usually emulate it, and I was just pushing crouch a bunch, and then found that McClane can just leap in the air.
Okay, so I actually changed the route up a little bit for this stage now. So we grab that medkit there, launch ourselves up, and we're gonna like kind of go through as we normally would in the route, but we're gonna change a few things.
Should be moving.
Okay, we didn't get shot. That's good. So we're gonna grab this medkit here, run in, take him out. Gonna D-pad reload.
Some thanks I get. Nice job. But I've
Okay.
seen
Oh, we
better
didn't grab
shit.
an extra gun. Okay. So now we're gonna immediately run over to this side, jump, medkit, take out a few of them, not too many. Just enough to get some ammo. And then we're gonna launch ourselves up onto the stage. Ah, bonked.
That is great.
We should have enough health to be fine for the rest of this, as long as
You
I
can
get
also
it.
use that chandelier to do that trick, to use
Oh,
do
I
jumps.
didn't know that. Oh, we got a vertical launch. So this is a skip that I
Yeah, I've
also
actually
struggle with
had
a
it
lot.
land on me before.
Yeah,
and use it
I've
to
had
jump.
that. Usually when it lands on me, I just instantly die. Wow, I'm getting really bad launches. We may as well, since we're stuck here anyways, take some of them out so I don't have to worry about dying. It's gonna be a trash time, but it's fine. So it's in.
It's all for charity.
There we go. Okay, so if we were to step on that wooden plank between the stage and the seats, it would just immediately break. And you're supposed to flip that switch back when we were saving the hostages, but we don't really need to do that, so we don't bother doing that. Okay.
So here in LA Sewers, or LA Subway, there's some fun stuff in it because, there's a lot of management of small micro movements because of McClane's difficulty of moving forward a lot of time. But also, there's some great time saves. It's not really doable every time, but you can one cycle the subway train coming out. But SighAhNide's not going to one cycle it because it's ridiculous to try to do it in America.
Yeah. No.
But especially in the second part of this, there's some cool door skips. I'm excited to explain.
So we have another thing here that I found. When you crouch into vents, if you jump, you actually start moving back at full speed.
I think I can use these.
So we use that there just to immediately get both guards and not have to wait.
I see you
Okay.
didn't miss your train.
So we need to run to the third entrance here.
What are you doing?
It's 2. And 3. Obviously, if I touch that train, it's an instant death. So Let's try to not do that because we'd have to start this all over. Okay, nice. We're gonna use the menu
coming up
reloads
in a
here in a
moment.
second too. That's so good.
Gonna die in the sewer. First aid. Knock, knock.
So the stage is about to end, and what's going to happen is that we're going to have a big skip where we kind of do the stage backwards. And there's not ultimately that much value to it due to some particulars, but it does save some time, and it is also fun. What you're going to see starting off as soon as this section pops up, SighAhNide is going to go through a few doors and then start leaping to the left of some doors. And what I found is, I think when these doors were being placed by the developers, they probably were standing in 3D space and then placing a door in front of them, turning and placing a door behind them, because these doors you can only jump alternatingly through either the left side or the right side, but never both, and it like alternates. So anyway, he's still going backwards. I'll shut up now.
Thanks for the advice.
Yeah, another thing that I noticed with the doors is it's always the opposite side of where the lock is. So if you're trying to figure out how to get through a door, just automatically go to the opposite side.
Hostages. Why do these guys always have
The
hostages?
thing that I found here recently as well is when you stand on the laptop, it has water effects.
Thought I heard something.
Look, I've let
Oh,
Laban
wow.
behind us.
I'm not sure why, but it does.
Kill him.
Roger.
I'm going to inspect that because that's cool.
I might be catching a cold. It's a little damp down
So we got all the
So
payment
in this game
fragments
as
now.
well, before I say that,
Nope, you're
yeah, this backwards run here requires, you're supposed to do a puzzle, not a puzzle, but using this tube, you're supposed to pipe, you're supposed to turn it, but SighAhNide and I have a way around that.
I knew I was gonna do it.
So it's not always perfect though, because John can sometimes just jump off of things because he's a jerk.
There we go. Also on those boards up there, they also have water sound effects. So I assume the effect's still going on up it.
Oh.
Another useful thing with the menu reload is you can actually reload on ladders with it. You don't have to worry about getting stuck if you try to reload and jump.
Fuck up. You got one chance to get out of this mess.
Oh, that's great.
You have got to be kidding me.
So with Von Laban here, he's really a drag in this part of the sewer, because this last section of the sewer, because we basically have to, we're going to skip to the end very quickly without going through a maze section, but we kind of have to wait for him. And I've tracked him before. There's certain triggers you can avoid to keep enemies from really attacking you. And I've tried to like find ways to make him move through more quickly by killing some enemies, but I haven't yet. But maybe SighAhNide can find it one day.
Oh, I'm hoping, man.
Where does this lead? Don't try anything clever, Laban. You know I can shoot the eye out
We
of a
have
flea before you
$5
get
from
the hat.
DVD 01. Glad the goal got beaten by that amount. Thanks for running this event. Thanks
Woo!
to all the runners for the entertaining
We
runs.
may
And
have
of course,
a
thanks
problem.
to everybody for donating to such a great cause.
Thank you for that.
Come on.
Alright, so now we got about 2 minutes of nothing to do. No matter what, we have to sit here and wait for Von
jumps
Laban.
in.
Could mess with doors you're not supposed to get to right now. Like
Yeah,
this
so
one.
I guess I'll explain that one of the big strategies I'm looking to these days is, you know, earlier when you were on that laptop, if you, and you probably know this from the earlier routing, if you push the use button a lot, sometimes you can get audio to stack. And we do that again in the prison section, the police station section with the two prisoners. I'm looking for ways to do audio stacking in other places. Like with Von Laban, we might be able to cut some time out by getting some audio stacking. So I'm seeing what I can do there.
Yeah, I'm usually really bad with the lineup for audio stacking in prison, so I'm not even gonna really bother with it.
Cool.
One of the things I did find when I was messing around with trying to find ways to get in early is, so when you go in here, when it's finally time to go in here and you hit that valve there, the door immediately locks behind you, but weirdly enough, you can run through at about this side and run away, but the second you come back over, you get sucked all the way back into the room, even from outside, so it just pulls you into the door and immediately activates the cutscene.
Whoa.
I don't know why it
guess, right.
happens, but it does. comes Von Leben. Still about another 30
I've
to 40
spent probably the
seconds.
most time in this game trying to glitch through this door. Like this and another run in the prison where my white wells. In the prison one I found, that is the beginning of the prison where you have to listen to about 1.5 minutes of dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
Which I found a great skip around, which you'll explain later.
So it's also really important that I don't get in the middle of this door when Von Leben's coming up here, because you can get stuck inside him, and the only option would be to restart from checkpoint.
Ugh. Terrible game.
Okay.
Something tells me you shouldn't have done that.
Okay. So that's another thing we haven't mentioned yet is when you're crouched and only when you move horizontal, you would move at the full speed if you were to be running forward. But it only happens when you crouch and go horizontal. It does not happen if you crouch and go vertical. I don't know why, but
yeah.
Welcome to Die Hard.
I hate it when I'm right. What have we here?
You're done, asshole.
So there's a cat here that I've actually used to get OOB in this stage. Because if you jump on its head just as it jumps up, it can push you through the world.
Thanks, man. These guys are crazy.
I still really want to try that. I haven't been able to get it to work yet.
Just once.
Another thing with that area there,
really
yeah. Another thing with that area there is, I found out that if you kill all those other enemies early, that guard just kills the cop, and you fail, and you have to start all over. So I have to train myself to just not shoot any of them until after I have the guard saved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming in a moment, something really annoying. You have a open area that you can jump down to get to somewhere you're going to be later on, but they put a kill plane on it where you just can't get through it. And I've tried so many tricks to do it. It's coming to the next section.
Great, they killed...
so many tricks to do it. It's so obnoxious.
They killed Thornburg without shooting, so that's fun.
Too quiet around here.
Oh.
No one even fired.
The calm before the storm.
Everyone was still in idles.
That's Die Hard.
Okay.
I hate it when I'm right.
Whatever, we can save some health here now. Let's go ahead and not shoot it.
What's going on here?
Nice, we got that first try this time.
Thanks, man. These guys are crazy.
Oh, great. Well, I guess we're going through the door.
Yeah, since you're redoing the section a little bit, I'm so glad SighAhNide got on this because, 2 years ago when I was routing it, I never even put up the guide for the last stage because I just moved on with life, and then I would check every once in a while to see if anyone picked it up, and I was elated, a month ago to find that all the work he'd been doing.
$10 donation from Separated Soul. Thanks so much for allowing me to be a part of such a great event. Thanks to SighAhNide for putting it on, and thank you to all the other runners for the entertaining and amazing events.
Run. You're insured.
Hey, let this frontier clear.
Alright,
There we go. We're playing that safe this time.
lock your safety strap there.
So that's another thing I haven't mentioned, is that on the easy difficulty, every enemy takes 2 shots to kill. So when you pull out the dual Uzis, you just have to tap the trigger once, and it'll fire both guns and count as 2 bullets. So this is going to be our weapon of choice for most of the run. I'm going to grab a safety medkit in a minute.
Al, how you doing?
Okay, Al is apparently rescued.
So in this stage, really,
Hey, isn't that your brother?
we have a lot of attempts at saving time with getting audio to start and doing multiple things at once.
It's another fun strat there on the proximity mines. If you just hug the opposite wall, they won't go off.
See, what are you doing in there?
Shut up.
Dad?
You're only getting what you
that you?
deserve.
Thank God. They've mined the door. If we try and open it, we're toast.
Okay, move away from the door. Get yourself to the back of the room. I'm gonna shoot the glass out.
Okay. So all we have to do is shoot a little bit there after that line finishes, and it automatically counts as doing that trigger later on.
Shut up and move.
Oh,
Try
that's
to be a
great.
bit more
Had no idea.
optimistic, okay? Look, I'm going to try smashing it with this chair. Stand back.
Okay, so I usually like to aim a little bit to the right of her head. Nice.
It worked. See what you can achieve with teamwork?
What happened?
Frontier shot him, took his interview transcript and a list of the stolen art.
This isn't just about art. It's revenge. Gone crazy.
Coming up is what
What are
I
you
think is
talking about?
the worst part of this game.
He has plans.
And it's
though.
standing
And this
in those jail
Why should
cells
we trust
spamming
you?
talk to
You're
those
his
idiots.
partner, after all.
If I had known about his true intentions, I would have broken off our deal. All I
We have
want
time.
is
May as well heal.
paintings. You're running out of time.
Dad, we need to bypass the lock on the communications computer and deactivate the explosives. And we need those documents. It's our case.
I'm with you, but this thing has turned into way more than an art robbery.
Here's the keys to the whole.
I love the contrast in this game because in speedrunning, we're doing so much jumping through windows and leads jumping on things, and then you just do a lot of standing around waiting for people to talk.
What's your name?
Look, there's been some mistake.
I'm just gonna play this safe here.
Yeah, everyone's innocent. I asked you, what's your name?
That's smart.
Herbert Dowd?
A computer guy.
Well, I suppose. Look,
But for those watching, if you get, since you have to speak to this person and the other person across diagonal from him, you can stand between them and sort of get both of them speaking at the same time. Because if you walk too far away, they cancel out their audio. But if you get just right, you can get both and stack them. It saves some time, not a lot though, not worth ruining on the marathon.
This building is wrapped in? Well, that'll do for starters.
I've also had one weird glitch where, after doing both sets of dialogue, as soon as Dowd would bypass the locks, I've had Nitric just teleport to the door, so I don't have to wait at all for him walking, and I have no idea what causes it.
I'm exploring that. That sounds
Let
amazing.
me fill you in on something, Nitric. Right now, if those bombs blow, they'll take you out too. And I'm sure we wouldn't want that, now would we?
I think it was in my last
Did you
PB
happen
run.
to have that run on video?
Yeah, it's happened on stream, and I want to say it was my last PB.
Move you might make would be your last.
I will check it.
I skipped that line too early.
Let me fill you in on something, Nitric.
Oh, I
Right
forgot you
now,
need to do the
if those
next
bombs
line
blow,
after
they'll
that.
take you out too, and I'm sure we wouldn't want that, now would we?
And I may have actually seen the run, but during this section, in all your runs, I kind of skip ahead
Yep,
because these
I
guys are
don't
so
blame
boring.
you.
Move you might make would be your last.
Don't worry about me,
So-
Cop. Today is not a good day to die. Yo, home.
There we go.
I can't
Now
get
we
the
can
codes
go.
if the computers are offline. I'll wait by the explosives and you get the system up. Trust me, eh?
Hold on a
Oh,
minute.
I can hear him in the computer room.
I can't do jack, so underling, McLean.
Okay, so now we sit here and wait.
Yay!
Thankfully, this is the last of the waiting we really have to do. So from here on out, there's like actually going to be things to do for the run. Also, you get to see how tiny John really is.
Yeah, so some extra white whales I've been searching for are in the observatory getting onto the roof early, because I've once used the helicopter to bounce me up there in the last stage. That's one of my big white whales I'm chasing, just leaping up there early. We'll see if I ever get it. And in the courtyard of this stage, SighAhNide ran around it as you should do if you're being smart, but you actually can use a lamp to do a trick we call leads jumping, where you have to do like, it's basically mantling when you're not supposed to mantle, to actually skip that whole roundabout. But it's like, I do it 1 out of 15 tries. It's not really marathon useful.
I really hope we can get ledge skip. Ledge skip would be so
man, that
sick
would
to
be
have.
Beautiful.
I'll give it 2 tries, and if we don't get it, then we'll just do it normal.
You know, I've actually literally never played that section without doing ledge skip.
It's
because I use an emulator and I do sectionalized. What do you call it? You know, just bit by bit.
Yeah.
And so I've never played that section.
So, story update, Nitric disabled the doors and then ran away. So, now we need to go and get him back. We've already gotten the evidence back, which is good.
This part's fun because it's a lot of just, you know, you'll notice SighAhNide is using little taps because you want to not reload because you just got to kill all these guys.
Nice.
All right,
here we
here's
go,
a big one I
boys.
really love. It's a ledge skip. He's going to try it twice. And it's probably not going to work, but if it does, we save a couple of minutes, 2 minutes at a
Yeah,
time.
it's 2 minutes, yeah.
McLean, you're not authorized to be here.
Well, I'm not leaving until I get my little girl back.
I got my orders, and Al said you weren't to be let in.
Well, Al should know me better.
Ugh.
Don't try and stop me.
Jump up's like garbage.
Nice.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Fingers crossed, man.
Not on that one.
While he's doing his second one, I want to say that some people might know it, but the door at the beginning of the stage, you can actually use ledge jumping to get behind it, and you find the key cards and everything you need to bypass everything in the stage. Just you can't get back out, unfortunately, once you get that stuff.
No, we're not doing it. Alright, that's fine.
We got a sniper. He's on about.
No, don't get me stuck there. I don't want to take extra damage.
Well, if he got it, for those watching,
Where's Al and the hotel team?
he'll appear in a section I'll note later on, but you cut out a lot. It's very useful, but hey.
Now we gotta run all the way over to the sound stage. Okay, it's all 3. So now we gotta jump and make sure to holster as soon as we get in.
Go check on Will and stay sharp.
He's here.
I always swap back to
Funny,
pistol
I played
here.
this game hundreds of times, and like I don't even recognize any of this because I've just never seen it.
They would have killed us.
Like a run or two, I've watched people do it,
Listen,
but I just
how do
never
I get up to
seen
the
it.
office balcony?
Balcony? He means the one by the studio head office.
So I always switch back to pistol there because I don't trust the shotgun with this range, and usually with the assault rifle, it's really risky and usually ends up accidentally shooting one of the hostages. So I'd rather just play it safe there. I'm not going to bother grabbing the medkit just because we have plenty of hero time, and we're going to use that new trick.
Coming up, this is where you would appear if you use the skip.
What the hell?
Oh wait, no, I'm wrong.
Yep, it's the next area after this. Okay, let's switch to this, and then activate hero time, and we're just gonna punch our way through the walls.
McLean!
Yeah, the frames dropping now is actually just Dolphin. This isn't Twitch this time. Okay. So if I were to get ledge skip, I would just appear right up here.
Come on.
So we would skip out both of those rooms.
McLean, you there?
Yeah, I read you. Your sniper won't.
And more footsteps above.
While he's handling this, I want to. The next section is one that I spent a lot of time routing and finding lots of neat glitches to get through it. But then, as you're going to see, SighAhNide use, I found a really sort of, I don't know, wonderful, quick little skip. So basically, you start the next section in front of a door, but you don't have to face that door, and you have to go through another door and go do a bunch of stuff, and you come out of the building. But what you're going to see here is SighAhNide just simply turns around and walks out the way you came, and we're able to jump over a fence and just bypass the entire Hollywood film studio section and go straight to our last battle.
my favorite part about film studio is that if you get all the skips correctly, you never even enter the studio.
That's funny. Never thought about it.
Okay. So I always do a pre-jump on there. It's just always safer. I don't have to worry about accidentally launching forward too far. So
It's smart.
it's not a necessary thing. It's just, you know, safety.
Block doesn't look secure.
Please.
Someone could lose their trailer.
There we go.
Ugh.
All the shots lined up and none of them count.
Oh, I'm going to.
Shit, John, you're too late.
Actually,
It's over.
Dead man
Oh.
walking.
Here's he. I can hear him. There he is.
Yeah, I have not figured out. Oh wait, where he appears one of your other runs. You always get it appear there?
Yeah, so I found that it always depends on which side you finish on. Determines which side he's gonna actually come from.
That makes sense.
So Nitric is definitely still alive. I don't know why you would ever think that he was dead. He's fine. Okay, so now we're in prison.
I want to explain where he starts the Sierra Correctional Facility. So coming up in a moment, you're going to see him do a quick little restart. This was a section I spent weeks trying to get out of the prison cell and just found out you can just restart and it just auto opens the door for you. Wonderful skip.
These are very bad for you.
yo,
Allow me.
hey buddy, need a light?
Don't mind if I do.
Nice, we got the right guard.
Guards, we got a fire here. Come on, man.
Try that again. What the hell is it? We got a fire here. Get the.
Just relax, and I won't hurt you.
What?
All right.
Another fun one that shows the limited hardware they're working with is that you have to go downstairs and hide in a closet in order for the guard to not see you when he comes back. But there's simply a trigger in the closet, so you walk into it and then you can just stand right in front of him and it doesn't matter. And it saves a little bit of time there because you don't have to like climb out or anything. It's just, you know, the limitations of the GameCube hardware at the time.
Alright, we do have to do more waiting. I forgot about this door.
Yeah.
So we literally have to wait for this guard to walk all the way back and sit down.
For the guard who's been strung up.
That's ugh.
Well,
there we go.
Prisoner on the loose.
I've had fun runs where I forgot that I can't shoot them and have shot them, so it's good to see I didn't do that today.
ooh.
But then again, I've also had runs where I forget to talk
Coming
to
up
Von
here,
Wavin,
I would
so.
love to find a way to jump up through that glass because I think it could happen.
Ooh, that would be really nice.
All right, so this is a pretty long. I think this is the first 4-part stage.
Yep.
And you know, it's a lot of action. There's not too much more waiting in the rest of the stage. There's some cool little time saves here or there, but you know, there's one coming up later involving a guard who's hanging up, and you're supposed to shoot him, help him down, and then climb upstairs and around, and you fall into something. And I love the little neat trick we can do to skip that.
We didn't get the mass jump.
Oh,
So
sorry.
that's another thing
Good job.
I've found recently is that you can try and force a mass jump there, and if you get it, you can obviously just skip having to go all the way around, but I've only been able to have it once in a run, so super, super hard to do, but it's nice if it works.
With save states, I've done it a couple of times, but it just didn't seem viable.
Yeah. Alright, so we gotta get here, wait for that to explode, start jumping through. Missed that shot, there we go. Oh wait, I can't reload. I only have 3 shots. Oh.
Look, Vanny, I told you.
So we're basically done with the shotgun for the rest of this stage. We're gonna use it again in a second, and then we're gonna swap back to assault rifle for the rest of this.
Let's see. Who's on?
Okay. Oh, that was.
Whenever I do a segmented run of this stage, I have to write down those stupid that stupid code. I always forget.
I found that if you go in fast enough on the last two, if you hit them at like a really precise angle, you can hit both at the same time, which is really nice, but it's also incredibly awkward to do.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this.
You shouldn't have come in here, pig.
Okay, so we're on
Infuriating
a
section
timer.
because despite our... Oh, go ahead, bud.
Oh, no, they killed him. I was gonna point out that we're on a timer on this one, so I need to be able to kill most of them and then free him at the same time, but gotta do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard one, and even when you get it, he's obnoxious because you have to wait on him, despite the fact you can, you could move ahead. You have to wait on him to give you an item, and it's another obnoxious section. Again, this contrast in this game, where you're leaping around like a drunk Faith from Mirror's Edge, or you're just standing there like a dummy listening to people talk.
I'm getting too old for this.
Okay.
You shouldn't have come
Let's
in
hope I don't screw this up.
Oh, I don't need this.
Okay, that was way, way better.
Hey, buddy, you okay?
Yeah, thanks to you.
So yeah, because I'm on delay, I'll just go ahead and say that what's going to happen is you
But you're a
and
prisoner?
normally you have to go upstairs and you fall through a vent shaft to land past the section coming in a moment, the doors he's going to go through.
Listen,
But what we found is you can just situate yourself just right, just before the door closes, and you can hit the switch you need to hit, and just skip
you
it.
better
He's
take
about to
my
do it in a
jacket.
second.
Nice.
Oh, shit, run, man! Put
Nice.
on a uniform and everyone's...
Oh, stuck on boxes.
You ain't getting past me.
McLean.
There we go. So yeah, you can just
need
crouch and
backup.
jump straight through that window to save time from having to run around, which is really nice.
Yeah, I've also found, and there's some specific areas, but you can also do crouch jumping to actually clear places you would have to normally do ledge jumping with. And it's only in a few instances, but it's like McLean sucks his body up toward his head, and you can use in some instances to actually bypass a ledge jump.
Man, I need vacation.
Okay.
Plain, if it weren't for you, all in a day's work for public enemy number one. Nitro.
He's waiting for a chopper on the roof. Follow me. You can go up this way.
Now, coming up on this boss battle, let's see if SighAhNide does the great work he did recently. All headshots, hero time, in Nitrix's face. Should be done in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it's great. So he's also just in the middle of
Stay
talking
here.
before the fight's even
The
over.
SWAT guys are making their way in this direction.
Okay, so I need to remember to press right. I think it's right. I want to say it's right. It's right. Okay, so as soon as we open this door, I'm gonna go ahead and activate hero time. Then we're gonna run over to these boxes on the right here and crouch.
Beautiful.
Actually, we don't need to crouch. I need him to crouch. So we're just gonna angle it just slightly,
Oh, look at it.
and fight's over.
Ah.
So that's an entire boss fight right
Amazing.
there.
Coming up in this stage, you're supposed to work your way around this opening section, jumping up on boxes. But what I found was that you can basically pretty easily bypass all that. And I've actually used this section to get out of bounds, but I haven't found a way for it to be advantageous yet. So, you know, I'll keep searching for that. But there's some out of bounds here you can do. He's going to grab a grenade here. It's very important that he does because of a skip later on. He's going to be using that for in the next, you know, later on. Anyway.
Now to hope I don't screw this up. Oh, nope. Well, it worked out anyways, because I accidentally jumped down and they immediately killed him. So, that works out.
Hand grenades.
So that's again with the really unforgiving fail triggers. So if I don't shoot them in time, they immediately kill him because I only hit him once. I moved over to the right too fast. Oh, Tuna Factory.
That's okay, we're having a good time hanging out. Give people more time for donations. You're doing great work.
Oh, I'm too far. Please. There we go. Oh, cool. Nice. Oh my god. I'm not used to not having to press up on the D-pad there.
Hand grenades.
Yeah. Alright. Third time? Charm?
Please.
Nice shot. My turn.
I get closest.
Nice. Okay. So it's better that I didn't just tap and just held that time.
Another quick skip here that SighAhNide does a better job than I do at it. You know, it takes me a lot more time for it, but he jumps on this control panel and instead of waiting for the cycles, I believe he's using hero time here to slow it down so you can jump up there?
Nope, we're not using that at all. We're doing this all real time. I just gotta make sure to not move over too far. Oh. Then you move down a little bit more.
Why would he do that?
There we go.
Nice.
Watch your step, asshole.
Yeah, we need to save
Here's
all that
another
hero
fun
time.
one. You know, you're supposed to shoot these down and cross them, but just found that you can you're supposed to shoot the ones on the other side too, but by shooting these locks and just getting those out of the way, you can kind of jump in there. And there's a weird little jump here that I need to figure out the mechanics of. The McLean will sometimes sort of stick around a vertical little blockade like that. Anyway, you would have seen it if the ledge jump worked earlier. You'd see it again. I need to figure out the mechanics of that.
Yeah, for you.
I'm just gonna play this safe here just so I have extra health. Because we do have to do grenade jumps in a little bit.
So the grenade jump is, in my opinion, one of SighAhNide's greatest contributions, aside from actually doing a non-segmented full-on run of this. Because the way I did grenade skip was I would put it down on the ground and crouch and then turn around and face my back to where he wanted to go, which I found would fire him in his direction. He found a much smarter way of doing it, which you'll see in just a moment.
How do I get across there? You're not gonna make that.
Nice.
Oh.
Sleep with the fish.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's fine. Please.
So before he gets started and explains other things, probably in the next section, those grenades could also, as I haven't documented this, but I've done it before. The next section, you can actually use grenades as soon as you leave this building to have a quick skip over some boxes that you normally have to route around. But I haven't done it in a full-on run because it's pretty sort of difficult to pull off. But SighAhNide's great work there. Maybe he could try it out. Maybe it could work. I'll show you the section coming up. So when you first exit, you have boxes to your right. You can use a grenade to hop over those.
Ooh, I had actually been, before I found out about the hero time skip, I was actually trying to see if I could just mash jump it. So it's good to see that I was close on an idea.
There he is.
Okay. I hope I didn't get too close on that. I don't really want to have the screen shake for about a minute. Oh, we did. Okay. So that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you get too close, they're gonna fire a rocket and destroy the crane. And because we're in hair time, it stays for way longer than it should.
Telling you, drunken faith.
I'm gonna up that. I hope I did. Oh no.
Oh.
No, we're still good. We're still in this.
Oh, nice. Good work.
I only hit it once. That means I wouldn't have hit it the first time, and I'm glad I double tapped. Please. There we go.
Doing this land in the top of the truck up here.
Pull your men back. We're going.
Gotta get into that truck without being spotted.
And there we go.
Nice.
Oh, onto what I think is the hardest stage.
Yeah, it is. And there's actually, you can use these turrets to launch yourself in the air and get out of bounds, and you can see later sections, but unfortunately you can't get back in. Or at least I haven't.
Gotta stay quiet, John. Sounds like I got company.
He's at the entrance.
Oh, there we go. So I always play it safe and grab an extra medkit there. Also, I didn't realize you could get stuck on the wheel and just have that pull you along.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I guess that's going to become a new route. So the big portion of warehouse is we need to destroy these fuel barrels. But some of them are really annoying to hit. Oh, I jumped too late.
Yeah. It is a hard stage and has some annoying stuff in it.
Okay, so we're supposed to save Lucy there, and then we don't. But it's fine. She's fine, don't worry about it.
Coming up here, you're going to see SighAhNide actually jump down and go right. But ledge skip, you actually can use in this room to bypass everything he does to the right. But it's a even much harder ledge skip. Ridiculous. Oh, well, sorry. It might actually be the next section. I apologize.
That's all good. We gotta grab that medkit now.
Yeah, it's the section coming up here that he's about to walk into the doors to the right.
You connect that cable?
You can actually skip all of that.
No one's getting through here.
Oh, the aiming.
Another barrel over
So this is where we use the crouching and moving sideways to go way faster than we're supposed to. Okay. Nice. Last one.
So he's being sure to catch all of these because coming up we have another really big skip where basically there's a puzzle you have to solve essentially involving cranes, and he's going to do two things coming up in just a moment that he has to be very careful about. He can skip the entire section, but you also miss a couple of rockets you need to blow up, so he's being sure to get them all.
These moved to the launch area.
Jack, turn on the forklift.
Ooh, this section.
It's a stupid place to store, if you ask me. I didn't put it up here.
Quit talking and
Oh, I've ever mentioned how sensitive the aiming in this game is and how precise I need this jump to be.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
So I need this circle to be right about there. Okay.
Oh wow,
Nice.
You really got that down. That's great, bud.
Okay. So that was nice to get first try.
I like how you do this one because, you know, you can do ledge jumping to get over this, but it's so inconsistent. Your way is much better.
Yeah, I'm so glad I accidentally found that you could push that box when I was messing with trying to ledge jump it.
Here's another neat little skip. You're supposed to shoot these balloons up top, but just found that we can hop on this ladder and hit the switch from the bottom. If you get, oh wow, great work.
Okay, so we're rolling in medkits now. We're gonna be set for the final boss. Not the final boss, the boss of this section, which is RNG as to spawns. So it's always good to have extra health going into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got lucky one time and got her to stand in one position. I haven't figured out how I did it.
I want to say it is honestly literally just RNG, and then you can get her stuck by just tapping shots. So she'll start to run, but then you'll release and then start, and then just keep repeating that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, nice.
What's holding us up?
We don't have enough fuel.
Who's gonna tell for...
Okay, so we're gonna make sure to reload now, because after this cutscene, the game will just immediately throw us right back in. So if we're in the middle of a reload during that cutscene, when we come back, we'll still be in that reload. So we don't have any hero time to abuse here
I would love
either.
to find a way to jump up there with her.
You can't. I've tried my best. The most you can do is go onto one of these AC units, but it's all invisible walled from there.
Surprise.
Nice.
Ooh, nice work, bud.
Okay, Nakatomi Plaza. Honestly, one of the easiest stages, I think. There's not a lot to it. It's really straightforward. The most we have is a glitch I accidentally found, that you can get yourself stuck inside of the elevator, but it doesn't accomplish anything. You're just stuck inside of the elevator and you can't move.
Guard area clear. It's an ambush.
It is fun. Yeah, I think the biggest skips I found in this stage are there's one of the floors in the next section you're supposed to, you know, go and explore it, and then they tell you basically go back to the elevator, but you can just keep pushing the elevator button and just keep going. And then at the very end, you're supposed to run up some stairs, and you can just run into the bottom of the stairs under them, and you can hit a trigger
The
then.
elevator just stopped on the 22nd floor. What's going on?
I hear you, John. The elevator wasn't stopped from down
I like your moves here.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, great.
So, as soon as we load in here, we have 15 seconds to get out of here, or the room explodes and immediately kills us. Which is fun. It's great for a blind playthrough of trying to figure out exactly which window you can go out of and what you have to do.
Yeah.
What was that you said? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. John, what's going on? The building's gonna need another paint job and a shitload of plate glass.
Hey, it wasn't my fault this time. Gruber just blew some explosives. Look, don't send any more SWAT guys in here until I give the word. It's too dangerous.
Moments like this is when you get to see how tiny John's hands really are.
I'll call you when I know more.
Yeah, they are.
Welcome to the 25th floor.
Okay, well, it was nice having the tactical SMG. We're basically going to get rid of it for the rest of the game now. We use it for maybe 3 enemies throughout the entire game. Oh, wrong way. Nope, that's the way I wanted to
I
go.
do it too, the same spot.
Okay, goodbye, tactical SMG. High-powered AR is basically going to be our useful weapon for the rest of the game.
You'll be pissing lead, McLean.
Oh, look what we got here.
Somebody should find an engineer.
It fires really, really fast, so one-taps are almost definitely going to be 2 shots.
Look what we got here.
We're also going to safety grab that med kit. Okay, menu reload.
Great. That's so smooth.
So we actually don't need to kill them.
Keep your eyes peeled.
the game wants us to pick up a walkie-talkie and talk to Gruber, but turns out there's multiple enemies that'll drop it. So it doesn't have to be that one. It can be this one. It can be the one all the way at the end of this section. It could be any of them. I've never tried seeing what happens if I just don't pick it up, but I assume the stage will just honestly go
Knowing this
as
game?
normal. Well, it's either that or it'll soft lock you, like if you don't call Captain Al in the next stage, which of course
Right.
you're just supposed to know that you're supposed to do that. Oh, Die Hard.
Yeah, because you can get stuck in that section and have to start the stage over.
Yep, I did that during my blind playthrough on stream and was very upset. Okay, so
Dad,
just kidding, Lucy's fine.
Careful.
Lucy! Oh shit!
Okay, so we're gonna grab that. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I've wondered if I could use those rocks in that little rock garden there to like do a jump up to the top. I've wondered.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all over.
Okay, and because we have an extra med kit, why not?
Where's Gruber?
Please follow me.
We have to wait for Lucy to get over to the elevator, so we may as well take out the remaining enemies. During my my guide for the stage, actually, I had a fun glitch where I just fell through the elevator as it was going up, and it insta-kills you.
Okay, whatever happened.
Yeah, physics still
but still
work for
cool.
this section. It's not useful in any way. I don't know why it happened. It's the only time I've ever seen it happen.
Lead the way. After you.
Okay. So as soon as she says after you can immediately open the door. And then we don't even need to climb up. All we need to do is just touch the back of those stairs. And now we get to start Observatory. Oh boy.
So coming up in this stage, we're going to be seeing a glitch that I have documented, but I did not have uploaded because I quit uploading strats for the game 2 years ago because no one ever looked at them. So SighAhNide and I talked about it, so he's going to try it out tonight, and we're going to see if it works. But it involves in the next, not the next section of the stage, but once he gets upstairs here and then back down to the back of this building, he's going to use a lamp to leap back up to the on main floor again.
I think I was gonna put that helicopter that. It was a weird lineup. Okay, we're also gonna get everyone's favorite item here in a second. The circuit breaker, which you use just for RNG button presses.
How to do this?
I'm also just gonna destroy that missile launcher now.
Yeah.
The guard always somehow lives. Should be all of them. Oh, that actually was.
Nice.
Grab some extra ammo, and then we gotta go talk to a goblin guard here.
What happened? Frontier's men have overrun the place. They've wired up the building with explosives. Looks like
Yeah, don't
he
forget
intends
his
to kill
we have
everyone
to get his
inside.
walkie-talkie, right?
How
Yep.
much explosives?
So,
They said they've planted
you're gonna
fire
talk to
bombs.
him
so many
just
times.
to ask for his
Suitcases
keys.
here.
And it's
Take
like,
the
oh,
security
cool.
keys.
This is where this would end. You wouldn't think you'd need to do any more. Nope. You have to know you have to hit A again
Yeah.
to ask for his
Yeah.
radio.
Take it.
If you don't ask for this radio, by the time that you finish the stage, you will instantly fail and have to start all over.
Al, it's John. Come in, Al.
John, where the hell are you?
Ooh.
I'm up at the home.
Suppose I need to angle over a little more.
Very, very nice though.
We got a multiple
Oh.
hostage scenario, and they've rigged the building to blow.
If I can get it before the dialogue finishes, I'm happy.
No time, Al. They're
Oh,
fortifying
okay.
their position.
I didn't know you could launch
We'll be all
backwards
over
from
by
it.
the time you get here. I've got to try to
Yeah.
get into that building.
Oops. Please. Please, Ian.
Oh.
If I really need to, I can just try this side. Yeah, that side's way easier.
Sorry, old buddy.
There we go.
So, instead of having to go all the way back, you can just launch yourself from the floor all the way to the roof.
Power's back on the telescope, and the rockets are now offline. Now to get inside the building.
Also, by the time that dialogue would be finishing up, you would just be climbing up the rope to get back even onto the roof, but on the complete other side. So to be able to get that early is really, really nice. Now I gotta hope I don't get ladder glitch. Nice. I've had a fun glitch in decent runs lately where you can just get stuck inside the ladder. I don't know why it happens, but if it does, you're not allowed to climb it up. So
Another bomb?
I'm also gonna be really careful with those QTE presses. If I mess up any of those, it instantly explodes and I start at the last checkpoint. And the last checkpoint for that part right there would be the beginning of the stage. So we're gonna take those kind of slow.
That first section, actually both these sections are just way too tough for those reasons. For that walkie-talkie reason and that RNG thing.
We actually got out of that with a lot of health. Okay, so we're gonna see that actress that we never saw because we didn't bother talking to her. Why did I hit B again? So another fun thing that I've found out is that when you do those QTE presses, if you do a B press on there, that counts as holstering. So better hope for good RNG that you have two if you have to do one, because it'll cancel it back out.
God. That was smooth.
We have 3, so we gotta do another press, and then I gotta wait for it to let me pull up the weapons. Okay. I didn't even know we had medkits. Completely forgot about it.
Doors open.
Oh, it's on me. So, in this section here, we're supposed to save a bunch of hostages, but we're gonna do it in the most die-hard way possible, in which we just shoot everyone immediately in an order.
Way to get the ball rolling, John.
That's all the
Okay.
bombs taken care of.
So, now we need to switch back to the rocket launcher one last time. Fire right there. That takes out both of them. And then we switch back to the AR and get ready to finish the game.
Here we go. So another recent time save we found was that after you defeat this boss, you're supposed to pick up his Gatling gun and then use it to mow down the doors. But we just found you can just leave that crap and just use your normal gun, and it's much faster.
So we use hair time here again, just the same way we do for all the bosses. It just makes life so much easier. That, and he does a lot of damage. So we're gonna use that mixed with the menu reload, and by the time it runs out, he should be dead. So we can just immediately get out of here and not have to wait too long. I didn't know there's a proximity mine there. Today I learned.
Alright, here we go.
And time.
Oh, nice.
Hour and 2 minutes. It's definitely slower than my best time, but that was still a pretty good run nonetheless. We got to show off a lot.
That's pretty great, man.
So
yeah,
that was fun.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much for like letting me know, and we'll keep up on strat, see what we can find, bud.
Yeah, I'm
race
definitely
one day?
down for that. I'm more than happy to do that. If anyone is interested in running this game, we do actually have a Discord. So you can actually just go to the Die Hard Vendetta boards on speedrun.com, and the Discord is linked there. So you can keep up with everything, you can keep up with strats and all that. But yeah, thanks for watching Racing to Help. This turned out really, really well. $2,019.20 this year.
It's fantastic.
That's insane.
Wow.
So I guess we're gonna have to call that.
Well then, SighAhNide, thanks for having me on, bud, and I'll be seeing you around. And it
Yeah.
was great to be a part of a Die Hard run.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you in
Part of a charity.
and have explanations for tricks finally. But yeah, thank you. Thank you
All
so
right.
much,
See you later.
everyone. See you, man. But thank you so much, everyone, for taking part in Racing to Help. And I know I've been saying to some runners, like, oh, this is the last year I'm gonna do this, but it's me. It's not gonna be the last year. We already have some other stuff in the works, so definitely, if you're not in the Racing to Help Discord, let me throw a link in. So that's never. You can hop in here and you can actually keep up with when we have the new stuff figured out for, you know, secret ideas, or if anyone does runs that is interested in submitting in next year. That's definitely the place to do it. It's the easiest way to get a hold of me, unless you're on Twitter, which I'm at SighAhNide on Twitter. But I guess we're gonna have to call that there, and I'll see you all next year. Thank you to all the runners. Thank you to everyone that's donated. I will see you then.